Vishnu Gurudevo Maheshwara Gurudeva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kamsachaludamardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. We have gone through many moons, as the Chinese would say, many years, and seen many conflicts, wars, and experience chaos. Whether at the world at large or in our personal and family life. But most important thing is that we sailed across those many storms of life. But each time a typhoon comes, we have to be prepared, is it not? And it seems that each time the typhoon comes, the more we are prepared, it is something like traffic. As much as we keep expanding our roads and infrastructure, now those of you who have been here, 40 years also there was traffic. Now also there is traffic. No? The problem of traffic was then also, problem of traffic is there today only. But those who are experiencing in the newer generation, for them it is for the first time. They do not know that just history repeats itself. Yet each time we encounter some situation, and recently we've just gone through the COVID pandemic. Before that, we went through the world collapse of the banking system and economy. And each time we hear of this doomsday, that the world is going to come to an end, disaster is going to hit. Presently also we are going through a state of total chaos. In fact, each time we feel like we've never experienced something like this, where the whole world's energy resources are being choked. And that uncertainty again of business, what will be the future of life. And not only that, with the AI coming in, artificial intelligence, what our youngsters are experiencing. Like most of you might be, okay, we built our life, we have our savings, and we will manage through. But the chaos that the young people are going through right now, with job insecurities, not the usual job securities, we've all faced that, but with what they have studied, will anything be useful for them? Because with artificial intelligence taking over, will it make humans, their efforts redundant? So any new technology has its benefit also, yeah, its usage also. It's supposed to make our life more efficient, and yet it comes with its own drawbacks too, yeah, where our human minds becomes less and less capable. We think that we are advanced because our technology is advancing. Yeah. But technology advancement very often accompanies mental deterioration, decline of our mental capacity. When many of us were growing up, our parents would look at us and tell us that we could do calculations manually so fast that we with our calculators could not do. And our parents would laugh at us that you can't even do simple arithmetic. Now, you say, but why should we do it? We are advanced. We've got calculators to do that job for us. Why should we do that job? But in the process, we started forgetting how to solve these mathematical problems. Is it not? Same way, when people started losing their memory, which was so advanced that the Vedic mantras were learned and they were transferred only through oral tradition, which means only through memory. And after the Mahabharata, after every war, there is technological advancement. Yeah? And during the Mahabharata time, when the changes was going to come to society, it was Ved Vyasa, the genius, the great Rishi Ved Vyasa, who for the first time scripted or wrote down what the oral tradition spread. Now you will say, modern historians will say that that was advancement and we came up with languages, scripts, etc. Written languages came. But why did the written language come? Because our mind started declining in its memory power. You know that when there were landlines, all of you remembered each other's phone number. If I ask you now your mobile phone number, you have to go into airdrop. Is it not? How many of you do remember? Put your hands up. You remember your own number? Well, most of it is old timers here. And others who are just beginning to date. So they better remember their number. But otherwise, most of you, okay, how many of you remember your wife's number? So you'll be surprised, if you see the age group, that you can still remember some numbers. Otherwise, really speaking, on one side, we say it is not useful to because we've got such a fast phone. But as our mind's capacity declines, also there are other faculties that do develop. But today when we are finding that so many people going through depression, confusion, suicide rates increasing, it is alarming that what is happening to the following generations. So on one side there is advancement, the other side you can see that more and more chaos is there. However, this human mind that we have been given, like anything, your own muscles, and now many of you must be realizing that you all started holding sticks. And all the doctors will tell you that you must exercise your muscles, exercise your muscles. But you say, I can't even lift my leg, what am I going to exercise? Is it not? But don't use it, lose it. Don't use it, lose it. Whether it's your muscle, whether it was your tail as the ape which became your appendix. So if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So our thinking capacity also is becoming less and less as we become more dependent upon artificial intelligence. Now, some of you say you don't use it, but your chat GPT, even your messaging, your spellings, which nowadays you don't have to pay attention to. All this is slowly deteriorating our mental capacity. It is not only that people are living longer and therefore they're having Alzheimer's, they're having dementia, loss of memory, but it is because the less we exercise our brain, and now the only way we use our brain, at least, and it's not bad, is playing mahjong. Earlier it was bridge, now it is mahjong. And it's true, it helps to stimulate the brain. Now that don't mean that Swamiji recommended it. But something to stimulate your brain. Long before any psychological science understood the importance of values that we entertain, the importance of cultural upbringing, the importance of upasana, which is exercising your mental capacities. Our rishis devised such methods of upasanas which later on is commonly called as meditations. But whatever stage of life we are in, whether in your business or work field, whether in making decisions in your family, whether you have to make the choices of the field of medicine by which you want to be treated, with so many choices available for us, in fact, every choice creates a certain turmoil in our mind. So one is external world chaos, which we are experiencing right now. The geopolitics of the world is going absolutely haywire. Countries are ruled by people who sometimes you wonder even have got any common sense or the welfare of, leave alone the world, even their own country. In such chaotic situations, most will wonder, what do we do? How do we even plan our future? So these confusions that come about. Then there is chaos that happens in our own life. Whether there is change in the family dynamics, there's change in your physical health, and the conditions of your mind also changing. So to understand the relevance of it, we have to see from everybody's standpoint. And always remember, you transform, your family transforms, not by your lecturing. But you transform, your family transforms. Your family transforms, the society transforms, and the world transforms. So none of us as such, none of us as such are useless. So whatever we do in our transformation, whatever clarity we develop in our mind, and whatever decisions that we take and the route we take in our life, not only influences our life, but also helps the world and brings clarity in the world chaos. Now, how do we bring about this clarity? Today it's very common, everybody says, become mindful. Everybody stop being religious, be spiritual. Yeah? Some speak about yoga, some speak about meditation. All these wonderful means are available. But how do we develop that clarity in midst of all the chaos, that we make the right decision, the right choice, and follow that right course of action? And sometimes even to think to do right creates a lot of chaos. It did in Arjuna's mind. So how do we get clarity? We have only one day session. Many of you, of course, have attended the entire Bhagwat Gita, entire Ramayana. How even during those calamitous situation in Ayodhya, how Ramchandraji, Lakshmanji, Sitaji, Urmila, how they made their clear choices and decisions. We have studied all that. But when we are suddenly hit by a situation which appears completely new, very daunting, we begin to start thinking, what will happen to the world? And then everybody comes up with this, oh, the world is going to come to an end. Every 12 years, it's coming up soon. Every cult, every magazine, every movie will come on the world ending. And 5 times I have faced this ever since I've been in Hong Kong. And I tell them that I'm a better predictor. We will meet after 50 years. When they said in another 50 months the whole world is going to end. Yet nobody thinks that I'm such a great Maharishi. Because they were wrong, I was right. So first and foremost is, if we want in our life to be able to make a difference in every storm of our life and come out more courageous, more equipped to face the coming storms of life with our experience. And I said many of you got the experience, even have the knowledge. This being the 75th year of Chinmaya Mission, first of all, I would like to invite all of you who have in some way or the other glimpsed, benefited from Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda's vision, work, and practically all of you present here and your families, then this 75th year of Chinmaya Mission in October 23rd, 24th, 25th of October in the capital city of Delhi, where you have direct flights in, different types of accommodation available from 7-star to dormitory, and all available. See that all of you must come and experience this great grand celebration. It should be spiritual, entertaining, with experiential learning, and see how Chinmaya Mission has become such a large worldwide organization, reaching out to all levels of society. And you can feel with pride that somewhere you have been an integral part of this whole mission. So please do come. Invitations when you give for weddings, for your anniversary, you don't just give a card and say, come, not wanting them to come. You in fact insist. You even emotionally blackmail, right? You even threaten that if you don't come to my son's wedding, I won't come to your daughter's wedding. Even though your son might be getting married to her daughter only. So, this is invitation with insistence. Today only, register. You go, type Chinmaya Mission, 75th year celebration, the registration there, and you will be assisted in everything. So, do come for that program. I would like to see all of you. Many projects are going on around the world. Huge programs have happened, and you're going to experience one this Saturday itself. And all of you, if you've not yet come and experience the wonderful power, mystical power of Hanuman Chalisa, which of course, again, many of you already are aware, you already know. But come for this great grand function and be a beneficiary of the chanting of thousands of people, chanting 11 times Hanuman Chalisa at 11 altars. So you can see the magnitude of that chanting. We've all experienced 100 times chanting, and at the same time, hundreds of cities, towns, and 1,000 villages are chanting the Hanuman Chalisa, not only for all our peace, clarity, happiness, harmony, but also for the entire world. So even though wars are going on, we are able to be at peace in midst of all this chaos is because of also all the prayers, etc. But along with prayers, we have to put in our effort. We have also, during the 75th year, after years of Gurudev teaching the Bhagwat Gita, that this topic itself, clarity in midst of chaos, if all of us can memorize 5 formulas, 5 mantras, 5 shlokas from the greatest book of clarity in midst of chaos, and that is the Bhagwat Gita. And these 5 verses not only gives us the complete guidance of how to live our life with clarity, But at the same time, it will be useful at every stage of your life at any age. It in fact summarizes the entire theme of the Bhagwat Gita. And as many of you know, the earlier in life you know it, the better. So first and foremost is, I'll of course chant the verses also. Many of you have learned it, but now remember, and main thing is pass it on. No? In every mahjong, it's not a joke, every mahjong start with this five. You'll have so much clarity that you might just win the game. In every prayer meeting, chant it. In every organization, one thing common is the Bhagavad Gita. Everybody's got reference. Chant it. In your daily prayers, chant it. And pass it on to the following generations. I was in Harvard, and there some professors came and spoke to me. That when one of the ex-presidents had gone there in Harvard, now that they try to be all inclusive, they had asked all the youngsters to come and read a passage or chant a passage or a hymn from their faith. Everyone did it. And this is a real thing. I've experienced it myself. It was so sad that not one Hindu Indian could come up on stage, whether out of inhibition or knew one shloka of our scriptures. Again, many of us might know different shlokas from different texts, but when we meet together, do we have something in common? And what a source of knowledge we have to give us clarity, that gave Arjuna clarity in midst of all the chaos that was there at that time. It was not an ordinary situation. And yet, with such precious knowledge that we have, very little have we done for ourselves and for the world around us. And Hong Kong has done a lot, but even that lot is very little. So I'll explain how Gita gives clarity in midst of chaos very briefly through these 5 verses. But as all of you like to be now learning online and not in person, so on YouTube, just now I've done the camp at Siddhabadi, in details these 5 verses, and you'll see how it summarizes the entire theme of the Bhagavad Gita and gives us all the tools that we require. At the same time, like Hanuman Chalisa, the Bhagavad Gita also, mystical textbook, you just repeat these mantras to yourself and your mind gets clarity and strength. The first most inspiring statement by Krishna is when Arjuna collapsed and sat down and said, I cannot fight, leave alone, I don't want to fight, I cannot. He's a soldier. And Bhagwan's first word was Uttishta, which in the 6th chapter of meditation, to give Arjuna the means for further clarity and power of the mind, Sri Krishna says this very powerful verse. And no verse can be more motivating, more empowering than this verse where Krishna says, and please repeat after me. And even though you don't have it in your hand, I'm sure many of you have already learned the Bhagwat Gita. So, chant after me, but memorize these 5 verses and repeat it to yourself. It give you clarity. It will guide you on not only a spiritual path but life journey, as it has guided you many times in your life, whether we remember or not, but it has been rooted in us. The first verse is from the 6th chapter of the Bhagwat Gita. Uddharet atmanatmanam
Atmanatmanam
natmanam avasadhayet
Atmanam avasadaye
atmaiva hyatmano bandhu
Atmanatmano bandhu
atmaiva ripuratmanah.
Atmaiva vipuratmanaha
Uddharet atmanatmanam. Lift yourself by yourself. Situations in world can be anything. We may also have made wrong choices or mistakes. We want to progress and we want to improve, whether it's our standard of life, standard of living, financially, economically, socially, in our relationships, and most important, that we want to lift our mind to a state of greater peace, contentment, happiness. Don't sit back. First of all, what is important is will it. And be ready to put in whatever effort it is. See, if you fall down on the ground, till somebody comes to help you, if you don't try to help yourself, you might be lying there for a long time. And if you don't put in your effort, you don't try it, then you will not be able to get up. Don't let suddenly you start levitating. Everybody is meditating to levitate or to have some powers. But if you put in your effort, when you try, you won't sit there to cry. So lift yourself by yourself. Also, if you're not ready to lift yourself, even if somebody tries to lift it, it is very difficult. That's why you heard the statement, God helps those who help themselves. See, Bhagwan's help is for everybody. But at least we have to lift our hand up, is it not? You know, a little child also, if doesn't want to get up from the floor, 6-footed dad also can't lift him up. No? But a 45 kg ballerina, when she's ready to lift herself up, with a little assistance, she can be lifted high. So first foremost, lift yourself by yourself. Second says in that verses, na atmanam avasadhayet. The problem of life is you go on a diet, your cholesterol levels improve, your sugar levels improve, and nowadays you become slim. And then what happens? Having lifted your health, what do you do again? One day you decide to indulge again. And then to get rid of that one day's indulgence, 1 month of exercise and diet. You want to know how do you put on 2 kgs in one night after eating heavy food? And you don't lose it in spite of you not eating for 1 week. So having lifted yourself, don't allow yourself to fall down again. This might appear as a very simple common sense, but then you know how rare common sense is in our practice. Lift yourself by yourself. Having lifted yourself, don't allow yourself to fall down so that to whatever level you have lifted yourself, you can lift yourself further. And mind you, when you fall, you don't fall step by step. You fall many steps each time you fall. At the same time, we think that the journey upward is step at a time. But that's not true either. The higher you lift yourself, your next jump will be much higher. So having lifted yourself, aspire for even higher. Don't just settle down there. When I made the course Make It Happen, it was not meant just for starters or youngsters. It was meant for people who are already achievers. And remember, Gita was given to an achiever who temporarily fell down in his mental condition. It was not to teach Arjuna how to attain success. It was to teach Arjuna for his success to attain great significance. That he not only made history, he made an epic. And we all have that capacity in our life. Wealth-wise, most people in Hong Kong have made good wealth. Sometimes ups and downs are there, but on the whole, you've had a wonderful life. It's not that you have not achieved. You're all great achievers. But there is so much more that we can achieve with our work, with our life, and in our own development. See these famous verses like Mutti Bandh Kar Aaya Jag Mein, Haath Pasare Jayega. You came empty-handed, you'll go empty-handed. Therefore, in this life, do good. Give while you are living. We may hear all these things, yet when it comes to ourselves, our pursuit still continues for that which is not added to our happiness. And where we could attain that happiness, that permanence, after, see, when you struggle to fulfill your needs, when you struggle to even, provide for your children, family, when you have to work for their education, their expenses, etc., it's understandable. Even there, do not neglect your welfare. Otherwise, now you'll have to have all these soap operas, all Disney movies for children also. I live for myself. You did live only for yourself anyway. Na atmanam avasadayet. Each stage you lift yourself, aspire for something greater. And exponentially, the growth can take place. Another beautiful meaning is, do not underestimate yourself. Don't look down upon yourself. Na atmanam avasadayet. Don't lower yourself means also don't look down upon yourself. Again, simple tips that we hear sometimes in all these 1-minute clips. It is only when we are grateful for what we already have. We only say, oh God, thank you for giving me wealth. Oh God, thank you for giving me this. But do you ever thank for the abilities that you have? The opportunities that you have? The capacities that you have? Do not underestimate yourself. Now when I said 5 verses, all of you remember? So all these years, one verse I can't remember. Elijah Chapyo Jay. Do not underestimate yourself. If you go on to YouTube, you will find now 3-year-old children chanting these 5 verses. And I wouldn't be surprised, it's already picking up where already millions are chanting it. But if each one of us were to spread it to another million, can you imagine what wealth of knowledge you're giving to the generations that come? Within a year or two, we'll be able to reach out to 1 billion people. Starting it as movement, now even Grammy Award winners are taking it up as a, as a movement. Soon the politicians will also pick it up. So, na atmanam avasadi. So don't now itself think, oh, it's too difficult for me to remember 5 verses. No. I came for clarity, now they are going with more confusion. Na atmanam avasadi. Sanskrit is not a difficult language. It's time we claim our mother. Do you know when census was being taken for the languages people know? Not even 0.0001 people said that we know Sanskrit. But even if you know one shlok in Sanskrit, you can say, I know Sanskrit, so that the census in India can show that Sanskrit is a living language. Uttared Atmanatman. Not only lift the capacity of your mind to memorize just 5 verses of the Bhagwat Gita, but if you have these 5 verses, to you all I don't have to say because you've studied the entire Bhagwat Gita, but wish you could have continued studying the Bhagwat Gita. No? These 5 verses of the Bhagwat Gita, once the children, the youth, have a familiarity with the verse, they won't be afraid of studying the Bhagwat Gita. You all know my story also, right? I came to Hong Kong, and there in my dad's office, I found the Bhagwat Gita. Luckily, it was in English commentary with Swami Chinmayananda. I didn't have, even though I've been brought up by my grandmother with all the stories, even the knowledge, but I had no clue what is there in the Bhagwat Gita. And when I started reading it, I was amazed. And like many of you felt when I started the Bhagwat Gita classes here, that we had only one regret: why did we not know it before? And yet it's so difficult to venture into something which remains unknown to us. And yet we call her mother. And our own mother is unknown to us. And we deprive our children. And we say they are not interested. Don't say they are not interested. Yeah? Have you introduced them to their nani? They'll be closer to their nani than they are to you. No? They're closer to their grandmother. It reminds me, why grandparents and grandchildren get along very well. Do you know the answer? No clarity about it. Very simple. They have a common enemy. So, na atmanam avasadaye. Do not underestimate. If you can remember things in Mahjong, or I'm not making fun of Mahjong, because I know how Hong Kong people think. I'm just showing you, na atmanam avasadaye. If from Rummy to Bridge to Mahjong, you can develop yourself, then you can be as intelligent as the Chinese. By remembering 5 verses of the Bhagwat Gita. Na atmanam avasadi. It's a test. And you improve in one thing, just as I was telling you that when you play even cards, etc., that not for gambling, please, but you play intelligent games, it stimulates your mind. That's not the only thing. That's why I said more than playing cards, if you can play the game of Andakshari of the Shlokas of Bhagwat Gita. And don't worry, even there we are making cards, the 75th year of China mission. If you get it, quickly acquire it. Then you can play cards. I'm not joking. We have to make use of what we do best, right? So can you imagine to have a card play, mood cards of the Bhagavad Gita? So all this is happening in the 75th year of Chinmaya mission. So I'm also passing you information along with it, not just theoretical knowledge, practical tools by which you can develop yourself. So na atmanam avasadayi. Try with starting with learning these 5 verses, teaching to your family members, which is another challenge, you know that, right? But if you can overcome that challenge, even in your communications to them, you will be able to communicate. Otherwise, you already resort to the fact they don't listen. So I'm giving you all these examples, not just because it's just mundane, but this is where you can make a difference. And that little difference goes not only in developing our capacity and mind, but our relationships, etc. I know you would love to hear that, you do this meditation and you see this light and then you'll advance. Krishna showed no light to Arjuna other than the light of knowledge. And you see the difference that he made, not only for himself, but for all of us even till now. So, na atmanam avasadayit. Atmaiva hi atmano bandhu. That you yourself are your best friend. Atmaiva ripur atmana. That you yourself are your enemy. And that mind which is under your mastery is your best friend. That mind to which you give into, oh, this is difficult. Oh, I don't have the mood for it. It's too much of an effort. It's not necessary. That mind is our worst enemy. Because this is the language, this is a simple language that we use to ourselves. No? If you go deeper, with the amount of knowledge we have been lucky to get, no? How many of you can say with confidence that you can be enlightened in this life? See, only one put that. Think. Na atmanam avasadayit. Where people do not even know one shloka of the Bhagwat Gita, some of us have got the opportunity to learn it not once, not twice, but even now we have enough lifespan to read it again, study it again. First there was one person in the Far East, now we've got 6 people in the Far East. So how do we lose opportunities? You are your best friend, you are your worst enemy. Sometimes we don't know what we missed out. But having come into this life and not attain the eternal, immortal fulfillment. Our rishis call such people as kripana, kanjus. Now, kanjus these days is not a bad word. During the rishi time, to have something and not make use of it is not wisdom. It is foolishness, isn't it? Even people earn so much money that they never spend on themselves also. At least spend it on people who need it. Think about it. You are your best friend, you are your deadliest enemy. And therefore, Nanak Sahib's statement, Man jeete, jag jeet. Clarity is also for the mind. Now, how will we have clarity? First of all, we need a clear knowledge of our goal, of how to attain our goal, have knowledge of our abilities and how to perform. Yeah? Yet our mind gets so muddled, we can't make decisions. And we wonder how, because we are so much in the hustle, bustle and rush of life that we don't get time to pause and even think. And there's a statement, na, what you're telling me to think. यहाँ जीने की फुर्सत नहीं है. No? There's no time even to live. No? And really speaking, yesterday also somebody was asking me the question that which they're going to ask me tomorrow. So tomorrow is the question answer session, the Hong Kong side. And I know Kowloon people don't go to Hong Kong side. People rarely come to Kowloon. But then they will say, we don't like to come down to Kowloon. But we don't mind lifting ourselves up to
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, at least lift yourself up. No? So we were asking this question that Hong Kong is such a stressful life. I said, no, on the contrary. This is one of the most dynamic, the most happening place. In fact, when I went to Australia, at that time Swami Supriyananda was, Yuva Kendra there. No? She used to tell, why do you want to go to the city? I said, you don't understand. I come from Hong Kong. I need I'm a quiet person. The dynamism. And therefore, the second verse of the Bhagwat Gita, don't criticize Hong Kong and Hong Kong's activity. We are constantly busy. And it is good, because an idle mind is a devil's workshop. Yeah? So second, the most famous verse, which even that people don't know fully by heart, they only know quarter of it. Yeah? Karmanyevadhikaraste Mahaphaleshu kadachana
Mahaphaleshu kadachana
Ma karma phalaheturbuhu
Ma karma phalaheturbuhu
Ma te sangostva karmani.
Mate sangosva karmani.
See, predominantly all are Sindhis here. So we start from the right to the left. So from the ending to the front. Progressive. That's why it's called progressive group. From the back benchers, we become front benchers. Yeah? From the latecomers to the pioneers. So let's start Sindhi style from backward. Mate sangostva karmani. Do not resolve, do not be attached. Do not be attached. The moment we detach. It says do not be attached to inaction. Do something about it. And keep yourself busy with action. In a place like Hong Kong, we are always pushed into action. Even if you want to walk slow, somebody from behind will push you forward. So do not remain inactive. First, don't sit back and say, why me this to me? Mate sangosto karmani. Do not be attached to inaction. Karmani eva adhikarati. And very often, very badly translated, because it is in a formula type of verse. It says that you have an adhikar. Means your fitness is in action. Meaning is that when our mind is in turmoil, to immediately quieten your mind in meditation is not possible. Everybody wants to. Even when we started, first thing you want to learn is meditation. First session I had with all of you, you wanted to learn meditation. And when you go for these meditation courses, you land up with agitation. It is action by action we have created the storm in our life. And when there is a storm, it is with action only, but with clarity, that you have to get out of the storm. I read a very beautiful statement on who is a pessimist, who is an optimist. It said that when in the storm, the pessimist thinks that, just like we sometimes think, these phones will never stop. Never. Just like sometimes you say, he's never going to change. So a pessimist thinks that the ship is going to drown. The optimist thinks that the storm will soon pass away. But he or she is a realist. Yeah, who adjusts the sail. Therefore, get into action. Because when situations are what they are, when there is chaos, etc., you can wait for the storm to pass away. And yes, one day it will. But meanwhile, it could blow you off. So, do something about it, even if it's to protect yourself. So, karmani eva adhikarate. Do what is in your hand to do. To do the action rightly is in your hand. So how to do the action is in your hand. What action to do is in your hand. Therefore, what is in your capacity, you do. That's the meaning of karmani eva adhikarate. Not you have only right to the action, but never to the fruits. Then why will you act? But when it says ma karma, it says that karmani eva adhikarate ma phaleshu kadachana. It says that do not be worried about the results. Simple. You say, but how do I not worry about the result? Because you rather worry about how you will do your action. Worry is thinking only. To do your action, planning is also thinking only. Put your mind to productive thinking. If worrying can help you, worry. If it does not help you, like worrying is on rocking on a rocking chair. Very often I quote this. Worrying is like rocking on a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but doesn't get you anywhere. So rather than worrying about the future depends on the present. In the present, do your best. The future will take care of itself. And fourth thing, third in the list, ma karma phala heturbu. Really speaking, action, when done properly with the right attitude, it is not only that you get the fruit of action, but when you cling on to the fruit of action, one thing is you worry. Second thing is, if you don't get it the way you want it, you'll be disappointed, or you'll be excited, or you'll want more of it. But when you act without worry about the fruits, not only the fruit you will get, and whatever fruit you get is just only, and just enough for you. And if you are content with what you get of your sincere effort, you'll find that you've got so much more even to share. And in the process, ma karma phala heturbu. Do not just be dependent on the fruits of the action, because your peace, your happiness, and your further calmness of the mind comes when there is acceptance. And when there is acceptance, there is even clarity on what you can do, even if what you considered to be a failure. And most success stories have risen from apparent failures. That's why they say failures are stepping stones to greater success. Only this one verse of the Bhagwat Gita gives you the complete art of success without stress. Not only ordinary success, but efficiency in action. And not only that, but spiritual growth, where you become free of your vasanas, you become free of your dependence on things, and therefore you're on the way to liberation or moksha. So the depth of this verse, and you can do any practices, even some supernatural meditation, until and unless you have made your karma into yoga. Your action that lifts you to unite with your higher potential and to unite with Paramatma, your higher self. No other sadhana, no other sadhana can be easily practiced. In fact, can be practiced also. Therefore, until and unless we have done our duties with dedication, accepting the results of our actions, and sharing it with people even towards whom we have our duties, there is neither material success, and I'm talking about success. Money a person can have a lot, but it'll be locked in banks. Yeah? Locked in diamonds which have lost their price and value because lab grown diamonds have come. But then many a times we use that only before. Yeah? But that was a joke. Don't get offended. It was meant to be a joke. A long time I'm not giving diamond jokes. Around the world, either than these places, people are not wearing nowadays diamonds. So that's our uniqueness here. We still have diamonds. And they're a girl's best friend and a husband's deadliest enemy. Now the whole thing is, I mean, all this is said, okay, I understand, but to practice it is difficult, no? So the third verse of the Bhagwat Gita. And if you can chant this verse, no? Yeah, I tell you, you can speak any language in the world. Yat karoshi yadashnasi.
Yat karoshi yadashnasi.
Yat juhoshi dadasi yat.
Yat juhoshi dadasi yat.
Yat tapasyasi kaunteya.
Yat tapasyasi kaunteya.
Tat kurushva madarpanam.
Tat kurushva madarpanam.
This is in the ninth chapter of the Bhagwat Gita, where how to live such a life. When you say duty, duty, no beauty, but you're doing all this. Each one of you will be doing it. If not for anybody, at least for your children. Is it not? Whatever you do, you cannot forget the people whom you love. And even whatever you do with a sense that it is something that you have to do, it's your duty. And you don't feel it to be cumbersome. Yeah? When you do it for your children, you don't feel it cumbersome. When you do it for your in-laws, it is cumbersome, even if it's duty. Yeah? In-law jokes I can only crack here. Because other places they don't have only in-laws at home. So, we find duty as something that is a burden. But when you have got love, you do everything without even wanting anything in return. When your children are small and you're bringing them up, how many sacrifices you have done? How much have you shared? How much have you given? And Hong Kong is such a social place, even to the people around you. The way we are in Hong Kong, we are giving. Whether even if it's gifts, whether it is anything. How many of these things we do, even how much wealth, whether you might spend it in parties or weddings. But are you not just giving away? Of course, if you gave it for a better cause, it would have, much more fulfillment, etc. But the fact is that you are doing it. You're spreading it. Whether it's to your friends, whether it's to your community. So same thing. Here, do it for God's sake. And remember that God in our culture is not some individual sitting up there. That if you don't believe in that person, you can kill that person. For us, तुझ में राम, मुझ में राम, सब में राम समाया, सबसे कर लो प्यार जगत में कोई नहीं पराया. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Siya Ram ne sab jag jani, karo pranam jori jugapani. For us, God is in everything, everyone. And service of the country is the service of the Lord of Lords, and devotion to the people is the devotion to the Supreme Self. Every Bal Vihar kid from Hong Kong has been taught this. Yet we forget. And therefore, service of everyone with the attitude that I am just offering to the Lord from whom I have received everything. Yat karoshi, whatever you do, even your shopping, even your dressing up, even you're going to the hairdressers, I'm not joking about it. Those gopis who dress themselves up, and the gopis who had no time to dress themselves up, but all was for Krishna's sake. So, yat karoshi, whatever you do it for Bhagwan's sake. Yadashnasi, whatever you eat and consume through your senses also, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, also what you eat, do it for Bhagwan's sake. These are our day-to-day activities. Whatever you do, just keep that thought. Okay, but sometimes, Swamiji, I don't know if I do certain things. Can I offer it to God? You think of offering it to God, and if it's not fit for God, you will feel ashamed of doing it. You stop it, and what's not good for God is not good for you. You don't have to stop anything. Just think, I have to do it for Bhagwan's sake. Then three things for our social and personal spiritual upliftment, which is said in the Bhagwat Gita. Whatever worship you do, means whatever sadhanas you do, whether it's yakya, whether it is chanting, whether it's japa, we are not doing it for God's sake. We are doing it to get something out of God. Do it to attain the infinite, not something that is ordinary. Yat juhoshi, whatever you offer as worship. Yat dadasi, whatever you give, share as gifts or even charity. Yat tapasyasi, whatever austerities. Today we call it dieting. Diet. Fast. Even intermittent fasting. But on Ekadashi. Do it to attain the higher. Then, yat tapasyasi, even your meditation. Don't do it just to heal yourself, your body, that means. Do for that also. But if you do for Lord's sake, everything else will take care of itself. The mind will be calm. But still, two worries still remain with us. Oh, who will look after my family? That's what everybody said, that give up your work and sit and meditate all the time. But Bhagwan says, one of the most famous verses of the Bhagwat Gita, most assuring verses of the Bhagwat Gita, Ananyas chintayanto mam
Ananyas chintayanto mam
ye jana paryupasate
ye jana paryupasate
tesham nityabhiyuktanam
tesham nityabhiyuktanam
yogakshemam vahamyaham.
yogakshemam vahamyaham.
That devotee who does all his actions remembering me is my Ananya Bhakta, single-pointed devotee who is never separate from me, and I cannot be separate from such a devotee. One who at all places, at all times, ever steadfast. Paryupasate Vidyabhiyuktana. Bhagavan says, Yoga Shemam Vahamyam. Yoga Shankaracharya says, whatever they want to attain, even material. And I have given countless examples here in Hong Kong. That what you need in life, Bhagavan anyway provides. But for such a person, not only what you need in life, but yoga, which is by Patanjali Maharaj called as Chitta Vritti Nirodha, which means the mastery and clarity of mind. Shema, not only what needs to be protected in spite of all the calamities that are happening, all of you have at least got your wealth, right? I will secure not only their wealth, but the wealth of their virtues, which means what you've lifted yourself, I shall maintain it. And Bhagavan says, not only I will give you the power, I will come and lift you up. And what you need in life will come to you. You don't have to worry. If you stop worrying, Bhagavan worries for you. You worry, then you carry the burden on your head. Yoga Kshemam Vahamya. See, many times I've told you this. I also travel around the world. Even though I travel, internationally or even this thing, I never carry any money in my pocket. I'm telling you, in 40 years, not one meal have I gone hungry. And as I always say, I get better food in your house than you get. Then who's providing for whom? Sapna jiya ka ek data, so main visar na jaye. And therefore Bhagavan says the last verse of the Bhagwat Gita, Sarvadharman parityajya
Sarvadharman parityajya
Mamekam sharanam vraja
Mamekam sharanam vraja
Aham tva sarva papebhyah
Aham tva sarva papebhyah
Mokshayishami ma shuchaha.
Mokshayishyami ma suchaha.
Therefore Bhagavan says, now please don't mistranslate it as giving up all duties, come to me. Having done all duties for me, be free of all the nature of your body, mind, intellect, this limited ego and all its doings. Sarva dharman parityajya Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Come to me, but who are you? I don't know. Some say you're Krishna, some you say Shiva, somebody gives different names, somebody gives different religion. I, who am one. The seen are many, but the seer, the consciousness is one. When you say God is in the heart of everybody, heart means essence. It's you. Having abandoned every notion of this is me or that is me or this I have to do, that I have to do, turn towards the self. And when you have followed the earlier 4 verses, this highest meditation becomes simple, spontaneous. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Or, in simple words, you surrender to me only. I shall free you. You say yoga kshemam vahamya. I shall free you from all your wrongdoings also. Sin is not some crime against God. It is that by which you suffer. I will remove all the cause of your suffering. In short, I shall end all the karma, the destiny, and free you from all the results of your actions. Ma Shucha. Don't worry, don't grieve. This is Bhagwan's promise to us. So first three verses, what we should do. The next two verses, what Bhagwan does for us. These 5 verses. Now I ask you, will you learn this verses, 5 verses? All of you?
Yes. Yes.
Guru Gobind Singh was happy with Panch Pyaras. I am not. Yeah. Ready?
Yes.
Memorize. It's available on the internet also, sung in many beautiful ways. You can contact our ashram also, but learn these 5 verses and keep teaching these 5 verses. Right? And in the midst of all the chaos that's going on and that may come, these 5 verses will always give you clarity and clear mind in every situation. Can see an opportunity. Before we conclude, I want that our Neha Bruta, please announce, to speak to you about one of our very, very grand and beautiful project of the Chinmaya University to revive, to rediscover not only our spiritual, which Gurudev has done, but our Indian knowledge systems and integrated with our present modern contemporary knowledge so that our next generation is equipped with both the strength of the ancient and the modern.
We were recently at a strategy session with a group of business experts and leaders, and we asked them a simple question. What do you want to see in your next round of graduates? Now, I thought they would answer things like AI skills or technical skills, but they didn't. They instead said 4 things again and again: values, character, loyalty, integrity. In other words, they were looking for wholesome, holistic, characterful people. Now, this is exactly why Chinmaya Mission or Chinmaya University exists. If you think about, education today, it's filled with different paradoxes. So it may teach you information or give students information, but it doesn't really teach you or fulfill or give them expertise on life. It may give skills, but does it really give you a higher holistic vision? It may even teach us how to compete, but does it really give you the techniques of how to be complete? The answer lies in what we see that is happening with youth today. Suicide rates are high, and in fact, I was with a teacher yesterday who was telling me about how a year 2 student is taking antidepressant pills. This just doesn't seem right. Swami Chinmayananda, eons ago, realized that the actually true purpose of education is holistic transformation within an individual. So at Chinmaya University, instead of just asking, what career would you like, we ask, who do you actually want to become? So let's get one thing straight. CVB does offer amazing globally benchmark courses in science, in psychology. We have an MBA program, we've got PhD students, we've got AI, we've got robotics, we've got all the things that young students want to study. But we have three really, really amazing core pillars, which is what sets us apart, I'm easy to say, globally. First of all, we teach students about how to live life. That's through sessions like this really amazing, powerful one. All the students at CVV are learning the 5 verses of the Gita Panchamrit. They do sessions on meditation, on finding life's purpose. They study Swami SwarupanandaJi's self-unfoldment. Number 2, they don't just study, they learn how to serve. Now, how many of us here can say that in our university education, we went on anti-drug drives across 500 schools in Kerala? How many of us can say we set up literacy clinics? Well, the students at Chinmay University can definitely say this, and they're doing amazing, amazing things. And the last one, which is so, so profound, as Pujya Swamiji mentioned, is that we're really bringing back the best of our Indian knowledge systems into contemporary education. Not just as a fact-finding, but as an application and a way to solve, some of the most pressing issues of our time. So our students, their classes go something like this. I will study commerce, I will study modern decision making, but I'll also study what the Bhagwat Gita teaches about management. I will study cognitive behavior therapy and psychology, but I will also study what Patanjali's Yoga Sutra said about the mind and resilience. I will study engineering, but I'll also look at Patanjali's grammar rules and how I can apply those principles into my education. Now, doesn't this sound amazing? We also extend it to our research work. So our students are doing really cool things in researching how Sanskrit mantra chanting helps with modern day speech therapy, how AI can be used to create personalized pranayama tools to help individuals with their own breathing techniques. What are the diplomacy lessons that we can learn from the Mahabharata? Very relevant to today's situation. So you might be saying, oh my God, Neha, this is just a dream. But let me tell you a story about Shashi Rekha. Shashi Rekha came to CVV as a shy, diffident girl. She didn't really know what she wanted to do. So instead of just giving her a textbook, we gave her an intellectual playground and we gave her a sanctuary for her mind. She explored a few things and realized that actually robotics and technology is what she wanted to do. So she went ahead, she did her degree in that. She obviously excelled, got excellent grades. She set up the second chapter in all of India of the Institute of Electric and Electronic Engineering, which is very cool. She also managed to represent CVV in China and Singapore, doing in the world underwater autonomous, mechanical engineering shows, and she secured great jobs. But when I asked Shashi Rekha, what was her experience at CVV like and what really made her education different, she didn't mention any of these things. She instead said to me, Neha Didi, I loved the fact that I could apply Sanskrit coding in my coding and coursework. I loved the fact that I had decision-making tools from the Bhagwat Gita that made me more clear and gave me more clarity in what I wanted to do. I loved the fact that I could talk about purpose and reflection on life and how I confront failure. And I love the fact that instead of getting an award on how I succeeded in making a lot more money or succeeding a lot more than others, I was able to build something at Infosys for community at large. Now, this is such a powerful story of Pujya Gurudev's vision in action, and it really shows what the investment in our culture can do for not just individuals, not just families, but for the country at large. So as the 75th year of Chinmay Mission is happening now, I invite all of you to please come and join this beautiful education movement, which is not just creating students that are smart, but they're steadfast. They're not just skillful, but they're really selfless, and they're not just successful, but they're spiritually grounded and wholesome. So Swami SwarupanandaJi is there, who can share more information, also share my details. But please do join this really amazing, powerful movement of education. Thank you, and Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you so much, Neha. Neha is the Director of Partnerships and Joint Secretary of Chinmay University, and she is more than happy to connect with you if you would like to meet her outside once we conclude. This is probably the sweetest and the most difficult part of any session with Swamiji, and that is the vote of thanks. I have been so privileged to be under Puji Swamiji's guidance from a very young age. He has been a wonderful, wonderful guiding light in my life, and I think today's session was a wonderful opportunity for me to see how Swamiji's knowledge has not only brought Gurudev's light to me, but to all of us here. Swamiji, today's session was so crisp, so touching in so many ways. It's very hard to pick one thing that I can say thank you for sharing today. Each of these verses are gems, and Swamiji is the perfect jeweler to share them with us. Thank you, Swamiji, for such a beautiful evening. We are so looking forward to hearing more from you. Tomorrow evening, at Club Lusitano in Central, Swamiji will be having a fireside chat with Divya Harilila. Don't miss it. We start at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow, Club Lusitano Central. And on Saturday, 30th May, we invite you to the Grand Hanuman Chalisa Yajna that Swamiji himself has also mentioned, where over 1,400 voices will come together to chant the Hanuman Chalisa 11 times.
It's 1,500.
I stand corrected. We've reached 1,500 registrations. So make sure you get your tickets, join us, and invoke Hanumanji. This will be at the Great Lawn in the Art Park at West K. For tickets, please visit chinmaymissionhongkong.com or inquire with any of our volunteers who will be outside at the bookstall for more information. With this, we bring this evening's program to a close. Thank you once again, Swamiji, and we hope that you all have a serene and blessed evening. Hari Om.
Claps are for you. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.